We will bring in Stephanie Martin, SMU Associate Professor and Scholar of Political Communication, to talk more about the results and how all of this is beginning to take shape this morning. And Stephanie, we touched upon this briefly. Talk about some overnight developments, going to bed fairly late and waking up fairly early. And there was a pretty sizable change overnight. What are you expecting moving forward?
Well, I talked yesterday about how we would see signals, and the signals that we saw were a little different than maybe people anticipated. But you saw that Republicans were the people who voted in person yesterday, and so you saw Donald Trump's numbers look very good in the battleground states when the numbers were first counted, and you know, those are the votes that we who have been used to having the president determined sort of in the wee hours of the morning, the day after Election Day be called. Normally we have a lot of voting done that way. The pandemic has changed that. And what it's looking like is that people who picked the Biden ticket and picked Democrats were folks who voted early and did absentee and mail-in votes. And those votes are getting counted second. And so you kind of have, you know, to use it, you know, it's sort of like a tortoise and hare approach. And so Donald Trump jumped out early, and we'll see if the fable holds and Joe Biden, you know, crosses the finish line in the end, or if, you know, Donald Trump, the rabbit, manages to get to 271st. It's just, we're waiting it out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the House and the Senate. As it looks right now, Democrats projected to retain control of the House. The Senate's unclear. Where do you see that going? Well,
it's, you know, it may be like a 50-50 split, or the Senate may slip down to 51-49. What didn't happen was a sort of blue tidal wave did not sweep across the nation, where you had Democrats winning everywhere. You know, you had Susan Collins, who was thought to be almost a sure bet to go down in Maine for the vote she cast against Brett Kavanaugh, where Democrats really highly funded her opponent, and you know, she won very easily in Maine. And you know, the North Carolina Senate race, that race didn't go to Democrats as expected. Right. So you just didn't have the blue wave that folks thought was going, that Democrats, I should say, not folks, Democrats were hoping for. And so even if Biden gets the presidency, you're still going to have a sort of split government. And there's a lot of research, I should say, that affirms the idea that a lot of Americans for all the complaining Americans do, a lot of Americans like it, having their government rest in the hands of both parties. They think that keeps things in check.
Checks and balance, right? It gives the checks and balance, but it also forces bipartisanship, and that will be the issue. Will they be able to forge together, for example, a stimulus package? And because to this point, it hasn't happened. We've had a Republican Senate and a Republican White House. Let me ask you a couple of questions here, sort of all in one. Susan Collins, for example, case in point. Sarah Gideon was polling way ahead of her. We saw that didn't come to fruition. And we also saw Susan Collins, an incumbent, win. So the first part of the question is, the power of incumbency, isn't that an advantage in and of itself, one? And two, why are the polls so wrong again in so many races?
Well, the power of incumbency is always a big advantage. People vote for what they're used to, just like when you go to the supermarket, you buy the brand you're used to, even if it costs a little bit more. I think that, you know, you're asking an academic, and so I'll give an academic answer. And
please do.
I think that you know, we need a lot more research into polling in a social media and cell phone age. It's obvious that we don't have a good handle on how to poll in this era of technology. We don't have a good handle on how to poll in this era of social media. And any academic out there that you ask would throw away the election forecasts and all those needles, because they're not helpful. They give people a lot of heartburn. If I tell you there's a 20% chance of rain, and it doesn't rain, it doesn't mean, and if I tell you there's a 20% chance of rain and it rains, it doesn't mean the forecast was wrong. Right?
Or if you say there's a 10% chance of rain and we get a tornado, we're really mad. So predicting is not something that we come easy by, but you're so right. I mean, It's gotten worse in 4 years. It hasn't gotten better, even though the pollsters said they'd
This year
fix
was
some
so
things.
unusual,
What
though.
I mean is that when I put a needle, if a pollster puts a needle out or an election predictor out, a rain forecast, I don't have anything affirmative I can do about that.
Yeah.
But when a pollster puts a predictor out there, voters can affirmatively act to do something about that, which is fine. That's what we want people to do in a democracy. But then it also makes people think that something is wrong with the system because people have responded to the information they have seen, which is why
Stephanie.
maybe the polls are okay, but the forecasting really has to go. It's really harmful to the system.
Yeah, I have more questions for you, and so we're going to check back in with you a little bit later. I know Ron has more questions for you as well. She is Stephanie Ann Martin, if you want to follow along on Twitter.